So welcome. I would like to call the Monday, October 21st regular council meeting to order and start us off in a good way, acknowledging the land, which is on the unceded and traditional territories of the Katzie, Kwantlen, Mathaqui, and Semiahmoo First Nations. For any member of the public who are in attendance watching these proceedings, welcome as well. Just a reminder to keep your mic and camera turned off while you are attending. For those in attendance to provide a presentation to council, please also keep your mic and camera turned off until you are invited to make a presentation. So with that, we have an agenda in front of us. Would anybody like to make any amendments? Who would like to move the agenda? Moved by Councillor Albrecht, seconded by Councillor Mack. Further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? That's carried unanimously. Moves us on to the consent agenda. Does anybody like to remove anything from the consent agenda? And anybody like to move it? So moved by Councillor White, seconded by Councillor Wallace. Further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? So that's carried unanimously. We have a presentation, and I think our first presentation is from Mr. Gill, and that's from the Concerned Citizens of BC. Please feel free to turn on your camera and unmute your mic, and we will look forward to your delegation. Just a reminder, delegations are 5 minutes. Thank you very much. Mr. Gill.
Honorable Mayor, I'm not able to turn on my camera, but it says it has been, turned off by the host.
Oh, let me turn that back on for you. There we go.
Thank
Perfect,
you.
we can see
Thank
you.
you. Honorable Mayor, honorable council members of the city of Langley. First of all, I would like to thank you all and the city staff for providing us this opportunity to raise this issue, which is of utmost importance to the general public. My name is Loveleen Gill, and I'm a lawyer practicing in city of Surrey. And I come before you today as a representative of the concerned citizens of Surrey and BC. Our concern that we want to bring to your attention is the growing trend in the provincial politics to curb the powers of local governments, municipalities, by exploiting the legal lacuna in Canadian Constitution, in Canadian constitutional law. If this trend is not checked, local governments will be rendered ceremonial in nature in the future. Historically, a state of crisis has always been used to usurp power, as is shown by what is happening in British Columbia. The provincial government is centralizing power in the name of public safety and crisis in housing sector. Policing and development are two of the most important functions performed by local governments. The provincial government, with amendment in the Police Act and the passing of Bill 44, has encroached upon both these portfolios, putting grassroots democracy in grave danger. The province has violated the customary reverence to local governance by misusing the superstructure of Constitution of Canada. Now I would like to bring your attention towards that superstructure which I'm referring to. So the Canadian Constitution divides the state jurisdiction into two. Section 91 of the Constitution of Canada provides for the federal jurisdiction, and the Section 92 of the Constitution of Canada provides for provincial jurisdiction. So Section 92 is of importance for today's discussion because Section 92, subclause 8, Section 92 of the Constitutional Act 1867 puts municipal institutions firmly within the provincial jurisdiction to legislate, hence laying the foundation of an overarching power of the provincial government over municipal institution. The province has legislated different statutes using this power. For example, the Police Act in British Columbia. The structure of the Constitution Act empowers the government, the provincial government, to overrule municipal government in important portfolios such as policing and development and housing. Municipal powers have no constitutional protection against such an provincial overreach. So if the federal government violates the jurisdiction of the provincial government, the provincial government can always go to the court for judicial review, and vice versa. But unfortunately, the municipalities, the local governments have no such recourse under the Canadian constitutional law. It is high time that municipal governments in Canada receive a constitutional mandate by amending the Section 92 and creating and giving them an independent source of power, an independent source of jurisdiction. The example of Germany is there to follow, where there is a constitutional mandate with the municipalities to fulfill their duties towards the communities. We urge you to take leadership on this issue in our country, because we deserve better, because we deserve grassroots level democracy. Otherwise, the provincial overreach will, weaken our grassroots democracies, and the communities won't have any say in their future development and their future existence. Now, I will like to hand over the mic to my friend Ivan Scott, who is member of the delegation, and he'll explain you a bit further how the communities in Surrey have suffered due to this provincial overreach.
Thank you. And just to remind you, you have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Thank you. We will be done by then.
Good evening. Can you hear me there? I'm not on any.
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
But I'm not on video at this stage.
That's okay.
Okay. Well, good evening, Mayor and councillors of Langley City. We sincerely appreciate your time and interest in addressing this issue that affects not only the residents of Surrey, but all of British Columbia. The erosion of grassroots democracy in BC's municipal governments. My name is Ivan Scott. I'm a professional civil engineer who immigrated to Canada with my family 30 years ago, and I'm a proud Canadian citizen. I want to illustrate this concern of ours to you through an example being suffered at present by the city of Surrey, which is poised to become BC's largest city by 2030. Despite its growth and significance, Surrey has little autonomy over its own affairs. A prime example is the Keep the RCMP in Surrey campaign, which I founded. In 2018, the BC Police Act was very clear. Any municipality with a population of over 5,000 had the absolute right to determine its own police force. Surrey, as such a municipality, had the authority to make that choice. But during the 2018 mayoral election, Doug McCallum's platform did not provide a compelling argument for removing the RCMP from Surrey. His main electoral support came from his stance on scrapping the light rail transit in favour of the more established SkyTrain system. Although he cancelled the RRT at a cost of $40 million already spent, he also initiated the process of replacing the RCMP with the municipal police force, offering reasons such as Surrey is the only large city in Canada without its own municipal police force, as that if alone justified the change, and Surrey deserves its own police force. This despite the RCMP having served in Surrey faithfully for 70 years, including losing 5 officers in the line of duty during that time, and the RCMP contract was not up for renewal until 2032. In response to McCallum's actions, Catrice gained a petition of 50,000 signatures, which was dismissed by the Minister of Public Safety, Mark Farnworth. A second petition with 40,000 signatures called for a referendum on the issue, but was similarly rejected. And ultimately, in 2022, municipal election became the de facto referendum on the issue. Doug McCallum was ousted by Brenda Locke, whose platform was very much centred on retaining the RCMP as Surrey's police of jurisdiction. However, following her victory, Mayor Locke asserted Surrey's rights to retain the RCMP, the right that Farnworth initially publicly acknowledged. Surrey even agreed to absorb the $50 million already spent on transitioning into a new police force. However, Mr. Farnworth did a complete about-turn and refused to halt the transition. After 2 years of contentious negotiations, including a court challenge brought by the City of Surrey, Mr. Farnworth retroactively amended the BC Police Act, thus stripping Surrey of its long-standing right to determine its police force, effectively ignoring and overturning the will of Surrey voters. As a result, Surrey no longer has a say in how its community is policed, yet it remains liable for the substantial costs associated with Mr. Farnworth's imposed Surrey police
So
service.
we're about 7 minutes, 2 minutes over. Would you be able to prepare for wrapping up if possible?
Okay, fine. So the province offered to offset some of these costs, but the broader issue is that municipalities exist at the mercy and pleasure of the BC provincial government in all aspects of governance. Despite the fact that municipal voters are the self-same voters who elect a provincial government, provincial authorities have demonstrated their willingness to summarily override local democratic decisions. And these decisions will also be made in cities like your city of Langley. So given this reality, one must ask, if municipal governments have no autonomy, why do we need them at all? This is not the Canada I came to when I immigrated here 30 years ago, and neither is it yours. So I'll wrap it up there, sir. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to us. And Lovely, we'll just quickly wrap it up here.
Yeah, we really appreciate your delegation. Before you go, though, I just want to check if there's any questions from council. Councillor Mack.
Through the mayor, I didn't have any questions, but I just wanted to thank you both for your presentation and for your advocacy on this issue. I do agree with a lot of the sentiments that have been expressed.
Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Any other comments from council? Again, we really do appreciate the time for you talking with us. And again, thank you. And I hope you have an excellent rest of your evening. And you've certainly given us things to think about tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
And hopefully you'll see some value in it and take it a bit further, sir. Thank you. Good night.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And with that, we do have another delegation, the Langley Bat Friendly Community Team. And I believe there are two people here, Miss Mitchell and Miss Trainer, perhaps, if I'm pronouncing the last names right. Are you here?
I am here, Amy Mitchell. Terry couldn't be here tonight, so it's just going to be me.
Awesome. Please. Oh, Mr. Pollock, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think Mr. Brown has a little bit of an introduction first into the process before they get into the delegation. Thank you.
Great.
Perfect. So maybe we'll start with that.
Thank you, Mr. Pollock, and thank you, Mayor. So yeah, I'll be brief. So since council endorsed the motion to become a bat-friendly community on July 22nd, the city has since partnered with the bat-friendly community team, which is comprised of Langley Field Naturalists, Langley Environmental Partner Society, and BC Community Bat Programs. So far on the city's end, we've collaborated with the Fraser Valley Regional Library to celebrate Bat Week, held annually from October 24th to 31st, by organizing an educational presentation on October 28th, which Mayor and Council are invited to attend. We've also put out educational materials throughout the City Hall, which highlights the importance of bats to our local ecosystems and offer guidance on how to manage encounters with them. So these initiatives, combined with other initiatives from the bat community team, help us achieve the criteria to become a bat-friendly community. So looking ahead, we will explore to expand the program. We'll focus on increasing educational opportunities, strengthening our partnerships with local stewardship groups, and supporting conservation and habitat improvements for bats and their environments. So that's it for me. I'll leave it to Amy Mitchell to present the certificate and more details on the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll turn it over. And I do realize that this is sort of a city-led initiative, but as it's a delegation, it's also 5 minutes. So I'll turn it over. Very excited to get the presentation.
Okay, can you see that slides now?
Yes, we can. You may want to put it in present. There we go. Perfect.
Is that good? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I am Amy Mitchell. I'm actually the coordinator for the BC Community Bat Program for the Fraser Valley and Upper Sunshine Coast. But it's actually my counterpart who does work in the Metro Vancouver area and Sea to Sky, Danielle Dagdanes, that she's actually away right now, so I'm filling in for her. Yeah, and just following up on some of the things that Perry said as well, but just about the community bat program, we just respond to a lot of inquiries about bats. We do a lot of outreach and education. We promote BMPs for bats. We do annual bat counts, species ID. We work on some white nose syndrome surveillance studies. And then we have the bat friendly communities program as well. And yeah, so this is all really new to me. Again, I'm just kind of filling in for my coworker counterpart. But yeah, as Perry mentioned, the Langley Bat Friendly Community Team, that was Danielle with the BC Community Bat Program, and Lisa with the Langley Environmental Partners, and Terry Liu and Ronald. So, and then, yeah, Perry's been a big part of it. And the Langley Field Naturalists also formed a Langley City Bat Task Committee. So, I mean, everybody knows a lot of this stuff in council already too, but just for a little background. And yeah, the bat friendly communities, it's just something that we really have been trying to promote all over the province as much as we can, and getting municipalities involved in those efforts. You know, they often have a lot of land and properties and interactions with the communities that it really lends itself really well. So these are all things that already, again, that you guys knew about as well. For the bat friendly community, there's like 3 main components that we try to focus on. So the Langley bat team has already, you know, gone through all of this and kind of like set up the check marks for things to happen. So the first one is to protect, enhance, or create bat habitat. And then the second one is to provide information about bats. And the third one is to promote learning about bats as well. And we have Bat Week coming up really soon here too. So that's what we're hoping to coordinate this presentation with Bat Week as well. It just fits in really well. And as part of Langley becoming a bat-friendly community, this is just a statement that was provided by the city. So yeah, just it reflects your commitment to preserving local biodiversity and promoting environmental stewardship by supporting bat conservation. We're enhancing our ecosystem and controlling insect populations naturally and educating the public about the importance of bats. And this designation also fosters community pride and encourages sustainable practices that benefit both wildlife and residents. So Terry Liu actually has this physical certificate. Sorry, but but she'll be able to present it in person soon. So basically, I'm just presenting this virtually to you guys on behalf of the BC Community Bat Program. So congratulations for becoming a bat-friendly community. And then it's just an invitation to the mayor and council to attend the in-person certification presentation at the Timms Library on October 28th at 5:15. And then Terry Liu will be giving a bat talk after that. And the Langley Advanced Times will be present as a media representation for that presentation of the certificate. And that's it.
Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. I know I would love to be there myself, but unfortunately I will be coming back from Victoria. But I know that we will definitely make sure that this gets on council's agenda, and maybe there can be a note for Ms. Kenny just to make sure that council gets a meeting invite on our calendar so we can show up for this very important achievement. I don't know if you mind stop sharing your screen.
Yep.
And then we can get Councillor Wallace for a comment or a question. Councillor.
Thank you, through the mayor. Thank you for your presentation. And I just want to extend a thank you to Lisa Dreyfus from the Field Naturalists for bringing this forward, and Terry for coming and doing presentations, Terry Liu coming and doing presentations to our Environmental Sustainability Committee. I learned so much through their talks, and I encourage people to attend the October 25th at 5:15 in the library. It's a wealth of information. I was afraid of bats, but after hearing the significance of bats and what they do for our ecosystems, yeah, I'm just thrilled for the knowledge that I have gained. And yeah, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Councillor Mack, go ahead.
Thank you. Through the mayor, I just wanted to also thank you for your presentation and for your time to come here to present to us this evening. And then just note that I'll check my schedule and we'll attend if I'm able to.
Great.
Awesome. Again, thank you very much. Very proud achievement for the city. I know bats are very, very important species, and we do have a symbiotic relationship with them. So they're very, very important for us. So thank you again.
Great. Thank you.
And with that, we'll move on to 6A update council member reports. So we have upcoming meetings November 4th and then November 18th. And then we will certainly be in the council chambers in December where we can celebrate the Christmas season together. We're on to item 6B, council advisory body updates. Is there anything any member of council would like to share? Councilor Walls.
Thank you to the mayor. I just wanted to extend an appreciation for a member in our community that sits on the Langley Arts Council. And I know it is, she has sat on our Arts Committee, Arts, Recreation, Heritage and Culture Committee, but just to extend a thanks and appreciation for all the work that she has done in our community with the arts, both the Langleys. She was the Langley Arts Council president for 10 years. She has stepped down. I attended their annual general meeting and their art-specific gallery exhibition. Extended thanks on behalf of council, because we all know the work that the Arts Council does within our communities is extensive. So I just wanted to share publicly a thanks and an honoring of Lana Hart for all of the work that she has done and the work that the Arts Council does in our community. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Councilor Wallace. Very, very awesome. Councilor Albrecht.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just thought I'd take advantage of reminding the public that we have neighborhood meetings tomorrow night and Wednesday night. Tomorrow night's at Nickel Elementary. Goes from 6 till 8. And on Wednesday, October 23rd at the Coast Hotel, 6 till 8 o'clock. And I just thought I'd take advantage of that because I have a couple of very active committees that are there and representing the interests of the community. So have an opportunity to connect and talk about crime prevention and some of the work that we're doing in our environment, as well as our advisory design. So looking forward to it.
Awesome. And yes, it is a open house format, so folks can come when they like, leave when they like, very casual, and look forward to everybody there. Thank you for that reminder, Councilor Albrecht. Any other comments from council? So I'm not seeing any, so we'll move on to bylaws. 7A, this is bylaw 3287, zoning bylaw amendment number 207. Before we get to that, Mr. Johansson, I know we have one sort of phased development in our community that I'm aware of, which is Langley Lions, and I think it has a phased servicing agreement. I might be using the wrong terminology. And I believe in this proposal, there is a bylaw-based version of that was noted in the report. So I'm wondering if you could explain what both of them are and how they apply, and if there's any differences between the two.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So for this bylaw that's before council, for a rezoning for the Gateway Village, should council give it third reading, there's going to be further or finalization of the servicing requirements. So sewer and water and traffic improvements, and also identification of when certain parts of the public realm or amenities will be provided. It's a phased development that'll be built out over 20 years or so, 15 to 20 years. The Local Government Act has a provision that enables a municipality and a developer to enter into a phased development agreement, that if there's large improvements that need to be undertaken as part of the development of a site, in that agreement, it could be actually undertaken in phases. So, sewer pipe A is built with phase 2, and park, the park is provided with phase 4, for example. And that's all in a bylaw format that then is adopted by council. So then it's binding on the developer. So it could be in effect for 10 to 20 years. And it's often used for, probably the most common uses in like a greenfield subdivision, which would, you'd have like 200 homes built in 4 phases of 50 homes. And, this sewer gets put in at this phase and, the park gets put in phase 1 or phase 3 or whatever. So in this case, if it's deemed, if the servicing requirements are such that it's best to have them phased over time, then staff would come back with a phased development agreement bylaw for council's consideration of adoption prior to adopting the rezoning bylaw. Now, in the case of Langley Lions, it's a similar approach. Such that with each phase, there's a servicing agreement that's completed, servicing requirements that are undertaken. It's a little bit of a different approach, given that it's a BC housing and provincially backed project. So they've indicated their willingness to back the servicing upgrades for the project over time. So that'll be coming forward phase by phase. Again, just quickly going back to the Gateway Village. Again, if the finalization of the servicing needs indicates that some of the servicing should be delivered in a phased manner, then we'll come back with a bylaw.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Johansson. And before we get to the zoning, I just wanted to see if anybody had any questions on that presentation from Mr. Johansson. Councillor White, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Bahal. Through to Mr. Johansson, I just wanted to express my thanks for that explanation, Mr. Johansson. That was very helpful.
Awesome. So I'm not seeing any other questions. So with that, we have the recommendation that the bylaw cited as zoning bylaw 1996, number 2100, amendment number 207, 2024, number 3287 be read a third time. Is there a mover? Moved by Councillor James, seconded by Councillor Albrecht. Further discussion? I'm not seeing any. I'll call the question. All those in favor? Is there any opposed? None opposed, so that's carried unanimously. I believe, Councillor White, you have something to say for the next agenda item, which is permissive tax exemptions.
Yes, thanks very much, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to recuse myself from this next agenda item, as I am a board member of one of the organizations. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll just put you into the waiting room and then we'll bring you back to adjourn the meeting. So don't go away. Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you.
So we've just put Councillor White in the waiting room. So there's a little bit of administrative work with this one. There was a slight typo in one of the schedules. So it's just a housekeeping matter. We need to remove the Global Montessori School, which is consistent with the intentions of what we moved last time. So we have a few recommendations for this. So I'll just read them. That the third reading.
Mayor Paul?
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry
Ms.
to
Kenny.
interrupt. Just to confirm, could you do each as a separate resolution?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Kenny. So we have 3 that will move separately. So the first is that the third reading of permissive tax exemption bylaw 2024 number 3292 be rescinded. Is there a mover? Moved by Councillor Wallace, seconded by Councillor Mack. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Is there any opposed? So that's carried unanimously. The second one is that permissive tax exemption bylaw 2024 number 3292 be amended by removing Global Montessori School from the list of exempted properties in Schedule A to the bylaw. Is there a mover? Moved by Councillor Albrecht, seconded by Councillor Mack. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? That's carried unanimously. And finally, that permissive tax exemption bylaw 2024 number 3292 be read a third time as amended. Is there a mover? So moved by Councillor Albrecht, seconded by Councillor Solium this time. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? So that's carried unanimously. And just as a note, There will be a council meeting next week on Monday for this matter. There's just a deadline that we have to submit this to the province by. Again, I'll be at a conference representing the city at the same time, so I won't be here. So the deputy mayor will be able to handle that meeting, as there's one item and I have full confidence. So that is it for that. So that moves us on. Speaking of deputy mayor, the deputy mayor appointments for 2024, 2025. There is the recommendations in front of us in our agenda. Does anybody want me to read it? So would anybody like to move the recommendations as in our agenda? So moved by Councillor James, seconded by Councillor Mack. Is there any further discussions on that? So I'm seeing none. I'll call. Oh, actually, forgot. I'm going to bring Miss Councillor White back here. And then we'll just explain. Councillor White, welcome back. I apologize. And I guess would the folks that moved and seconded be comfortable if we rescinded that just for now, and then we'll just do it again. So Councillor White, we're just now on the 2024-2025 deputy mayor rotation, and I'll just do a call if there is anybody that would like to move in second as presented in our agenda. So it'll be moved again by Councillor Mack, seconded by Councillor White. Is there any further discussion on those rotations? So seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? That's carried unanimously, and that brings us to the end of our meeting. I will move the meeting to adjournment, and we'll have a seconder by Councillor White. I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? So that's carried unanimously, and I hope you all have a good meeting next week, and I will see you after that. So have a good one. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye.